No, it's all-time high after all-time high after all-time high. It's very clustered. So maybe 6 to 12 months of real bull market action. And with Trump and National Reserve talks, big investors, ETFs, to be honest, I would be surprised if we're not ending somewhere near 251 million. But that money will come, well, from other assets and from money printing probably, because that pool will grow as well, right? 500 trillion will be 1,000 trillion in 10 years, for sure.
Bitcoin to $1 million? Plan B reveals the driving forces behind this explosive forecast. From institutional adoption by BlackRock and Fidelity to the US debt spiral pushing Bitcoin's role as digital gold, this is a future you can't afford to miss.
Yeah, we had an early breakout, of course, in March, a bit of FOMO around the ETFs, but I guess the all-time high that we saw in November is the real one, and it should only get better from here. It's almost scary that it is happening again. It seems programmed. 3 years of boring bear market, and then 1 year of FOMO and face-melting bull action. And it's like that in all the past cycles. So if history is any guide, we're going to see that again, and I certainly think we're gonna see that again. So indeed, 100, if not 150, somewhere between that for this month, December. If history is any guide, returns of Bitcoin are not normally distributed. So it's not like we get an all-time high and then a bear market and then an all-time high and then some middle ground. No, it's all-time high after all-time high after all-time high. It's very clustered. So maybe 6 to 12 months of real bull market action. For sure there will be a bull market again, maybe, or probably there will be ranges like 100K, 1 million. That's a wide range, obviously, but I still think that range is, we can narrow it down a little bit. I've done that before on Twitter. So I'm thinking 250, 1 million is where I expect it to be on average, right? That's not the all-time high or anything. That's the next level that Bitcoin will rotate to with all the action we see on the MicroStrategy, Treasury kind of things, and with Trump and National Reserve talks, big investors, ETFs. To be honest, I would be surprised if we're not ending somewhere near 251 million. If we really go to, say, 500K Bitcoin, that would be a 10 trillion market cap, up from today's 2 trillion market cap. So that needs some capital, some flowing from either real estate or stocks or bonds or gold towards Bitcoin. And yeah, I think that's what we're seeing right now. That actually Bitcoin should be in a well-balanced portfolio. It has a place in a well-balanced institutional portfolio. That was unheard of a couple of years ago. Right now, it's I mean, the BlackRocks and the Fidelities are talking about it like it's, always has been like that. And it's logical. So no, I think those events play into the enormous jump in price level that we all expect, which is, of course, a very broad model. But it was comparing Bitcoin with gold and real estate, and it was talking about stages, or phases actually. So the beginning, Bitcoin was just a proof of concept, a nerd toy. Then it went to a transactional thing. It broke $1 for one Bitcoin. It was wow, this thing has some worth. We can use it for paying cups of coffee. And then we got the idea of digital gold, and now we're entering a phase where it's an institutional asset, a real institutional asset, where BlackRock, Fidelity, and even national states are thinking about investing in it. So no, it's really a next chapter, and a new price level, a higher price level goes with that next chapter. The wealth distribution problem in the world is not going to be solved by Bitcoin. So it will be Pareto distributed wealth, and so a couple of people will own most of the wealth, and most people own the rest, which is a small part of the wealth. And within Bitcoin, that will be the same. So, for example, of the 20 million Bitcoins out there, 1 million, of course, is Satoshi. That's probably gone forever. But then there's the Winklevoss brothers, early OGs. They also have 1 million Bitcoins, right? And yeah, and then you have Michael Saylor now. What does he have with a MicroStrategy? Like
400,000 or so, probably at this point. Yeah.
And then there's a couple more OGs that have 100K or more. Yeah, that's in every aspect of the economy, and that will not change with Bitcoin. It will not be evenly distributed. I think we're going into a very interesting period, a very interesting next year, 5 years, 10 years, where indeed all those things will be offered by normal banks or new banks, maybe micro strategy kind of banks. And then even further down the road, there is this end game maybe that the dollar is irrelevant. You will never change anything for dollars. And I don't know how that world would look like, but what's the purpose of exchanging it in dollars, selling it for dollars, or borrowing dollars against the Bitcoin? It's just because in the economy, the US dollar is accepted and not Bitcoin. But what if Bitcoin is accepted? What if El Salvador, with its legal tender, Bitcoin as legal tender, gets more support and more follow-up by, let's say, a Middle East country? The amount of money printing is staggering. And it has been actually going on since 1998, the first crisis when Russia defaulted and the Asian tigers defaulted, and the global financial crisis in 2008. We had 9/11 in between there, and COVID, of course, in 2020. So governments need money. They will keep printing. They have no option. It is madness, like you say. So every institutional investor knows the debt will never, ever be paid off. And it's not, as long as it gets rolled over into new debt and they get their interest, it's all okay.
Plan B delves into Bitcoin's potential to reach $250,000 or more, driven by institutional adoption from firms like BlackRock and Fidelity. He highlights the role of MicroStrategy and insurance companies as pioneers in Bitcoin strategies, emphasizing their influence in solidifying Bitcoin's position in the financial world. On the macroeconomic side, Bitcoin's appeal as a hedge against the U.S. debt crisis is growing. With the Federal Reserve expected to continue money printing, Bitcoin's scarcity is positioned as its greatest asset. Plan B's updated analysis methods go beyond stock-to-flow, integrating on-chain metrics and derivatives to paint a clear picture of Bitcoin's future.
Risk cannot be. Nobody can make a loss anymore. That doesn't mean the risk is gone. The risk just goes elsewhere. And my view, that's one of the things I've been really breaking my head about. One view is that risk goes to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is extremely volatile, especially with bear markets of 80% plus. That didn't go down, right? Everybody's talking about diminishing returns and all that, but the volatility did not go down over the last 15 years. A bear market has an 80%-ish plus crash, and the volatility in options is still 80, 90, 100% implied volatility sometimes. So in my view, Bitcoin is one of those places, maybe the only place, where volatility and risk is allowed to happen, allowed to live. And with the volatility, with the risk, comes the return. So maybe there will not be a stock market crash. Maybe it will be just, move elsewhere, the risk and the return. Yeah, it's like that. I think it will be like that, because everybody's talking about the super cycle, but really institutional investors are also humans. They also have greed and fear, and it's not like the stock market didn't have any crashes, right, in 2008. And even with institutional investors, you have crashes. So no, I don't think that changes anything. Yeah, me too. I thought we would see it much faster, and obviously there was a lot of inertia in the market, a lot of lagging with all the things you say, and also the Operation Choke Point, where governments are actively working against Bitcoin, but also accounting rules, all kinds of institutional investors have mandates, right? They have mandates. Yeah. You're allowed to invest in stocks for X%, bonds for X%. There's no Bitcoin on there. The people in the institutions, in the banks and the financial institutions, like me at the time, the people that know, that see the obvious arbitrage, that see the enormous risk return asymmetry, they just leave and gonna do it themselves because the benefits are so enormous. Why would you ever do that for? So those people go do it for themselves, pool at hedge funds and just play the market. They arbitrage these slow dinosaurs. And of course, with gold, 1,000-year-old asset that everybody knows is a very conservative thing that every central bank has. And Bitcoin is the new thing. So Bitcoin will grow into the asset pool. And there's very nice pictures that Michael Saylor also used about the 500 trillion asset pool globally, and Bitcoin being 2 trillion. And it will grow into that market, but that money will come from other assets and from money printing probably, because that pool will grow as well, right? The 500 trillion will be 1,000 trillion in 10 years, for sure.
Plan B's insights reveal a future where Bitcoin could dominate global finance, acting as both a hedge against instability and a revolutionary asset class. With predictions reaching as high as $1 million per coin, the potential for Bitcoin's impact is staggering. Institutions like BlackRock and Fidelity are already paving the way, while innovative strategies by MicroStrategy and others demonstrate how Bitcoin is reshaping the financial landscape. Stay tuned, like, and share this video for more groundbreaking insights into the world of Bitcoin.